We're going to start our factoring unit. You guys should have taken a test yesterday. If you have not taken that test, that is the first thing that you need to do today. Okay, we do not have Wednesdays off ever at any point. Does everybody understand that? We don't have Wednesdays off. It's not a free day. It's you work from home day. Okay, you need to start working from home on Wednesday so we don't have to keep catching you up. When we work with factoring, the first thing that we're always going to do, so our GCF is our first step in factoring. You always want to see if you can pull out a GCF first, and that's just a number that's in common or even variables or letters that are in common. Right? So the way we do this is we break down these numbers. So the first one is negative 63. We go ahead and pull out that -1. I'm going to do it underneath. Don't do it above. That's all we're doing today is GCF. I'm going to do it underneath. 63 is 7 times 9. But 9 is 3 and 3. So I'm gonna stop right there for just a minute. Let me break it down one more time. I put the -1 because it was a negative 63. Factors of 63 are 7 times 9. 7 won't break down anymore. 9 will break into 3 and 3. We've already done this when we did our square roots. You guys remember breaking numbers down. And then we have 8 x's. So I'm just gonna put them underneath here. We have a big fat plus in between them, so I'm going to put the plus. And then we need to break down 14 and x. So factors of 14 are 2 and 7, and they have 1x. Now you just go through the numbers. Do they each have a -1? No. Do they each have a 7? Yes, we've done this before where we circle them. Do they each have 1x? Yes. Do they have anything else in common? No, they don't. Your GCF are those two things squished together. So 7x is your GCF.
Is that a 7.7? I mean 2.7?
No, it's a 2 times 7.
Oh.
And then the new thing that we're going to do is we're going to put a parenthesis and write down all of the leftovers. Okay. So in the very beginning, we have a -1 times 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9 times -1 is -9. Whoever's got the music going has got to stop. Thank you. And then how many x's did I not circle? 7. So it'll be x to the 7th. Bring down your plus. What did I not circle in the very last one? 2. That's it. That is factoring GCF. So the only new part to this is writing this set of parentheses. This we did with simplifying square roots. Okay. So look at the next one. What are our factors of 15? 3 and 5. Neither one of those can break down anymore. And we have 5p. We have a plus in between, so I just write a big plus to separate them. And what are your factors of 9? 3 times 3. What do they have in common? Anything else? Nope. So your GCF is 3. The last thing that we're going to do, or the new part, is we write a parenthesis. What did you have left before the plus? A 5 and 5p. Then we had a plus. What did we have left after the plus? 3. That's it. That's all you do. The only difference is they get a little bit bigger. I'm going to go to number 4 and then I'll jump back to number 3. Okay, I'm going to go to number 4, jump back to number 3. So number 4, I have a negative 25. So anytime you see a negative, go ahead and write a -1. What are your factors of 25? 5 and 5, right? And then I have an M and an N. I'm going to go ahead and write a plus. Why am I going to write a plus? Because I'm about to take that negative out. Okay, so always put a plus there. -10 is a -1. What are your factors of 10? 2 and 5, right? And then we have 1M. What is the same in both of them? A 5, a -1, and an M. So we squish those together. -1 times 5 is -5, and you write your M with it. And then literally read what you have left over. In the first one, we have a 5 and an N. We have a plus, and in the last, we have a 2. The only way it gets harder is they make bigger numbers, or they make like 3 terms, like in 16. So you have to do 3 different numbers. That's it. But it's all exactly the same. Okay. So let's look at number 3. What are your factors of 81? Look at them multiply together to get 81. Okay. Let me show you something. If you get a number that you're not sure of, and you'll use this again and again. So if you don't have a calculator, you can get one. But we're going to put in 81 divide x. When we go to our tables, so I'm going to put that over here in your calculator, and then go to your table. And your table will show you all your factors. Here's the perfect one. What are your factors of 81? 9 and 9. Will they break down anymore? Yes. What are factors of 9? 3 and 3, right? And we had 2 9s. So 3, 3, 3, 3. We have 4 x's and 3 y's. Big fat plus. What are your factors of 18? Again, if you don't know your factors, you can put them in your calculator, look at your table. There's a bunch of them on here. There's 6 and 3, 2 and 9. It doesn't matter which one you use. So let's go with 6 and 3. What are your factors of 6? 2 and 3, and we have a 3. So you're going to break down everything you can. We have 4 x's and 2 y's. What do they have in common? 2 3s, 4 x's, and 2 y's. So what is 3 times 3? 9. How many x's did you have? 4. How many y's did you have? 2. Then we write our parentheses. So what did you circle? A 9, 4 x's, and 2 y's. What did we leave in the first? 3 times 3 is 9, and we left a y. We're going to write our plus. In the back, what's the only thing I left? 2. That's it. I want to do number 6, and then I'll come back to number 5. I know that I keep skipping around, but it's okay. All right, number 6. Now you just have 3 terms, so we're just going to make 3 little sections. So we're going to start with 36. What are your factors of 36? 6 and 6. What are your factors of 6? 3 and 2, right? And I have to do 2 of those. 4 V's. We put a plus. What are your factors of 16? 8 and 2. 2 is good. What are your factors of 8? 4 and 2, right? What are your factors of 4? 2 and 2. So this one should be 4 2's. And we have 1 V. And then we have 16 again. So we already know that that's 4 2's. just doesn't have any letters this time. What is in common in all three parts? How many twos do they have in common? Two, right? Do they have any V's in common? They don't have any threes, so this is, yeah, what is 2 times 2? So your GCF is 4. And then write our leftovers. So in the very first one, 3 times 3 is 9. How many V's do I have left? 4, right? We write that plus. I had 2 times 2, which is 4 and a V. And in the back, I just had 2 times 2, which is 4. That's your final. You still got the music on. No, turn your music off. Can you even hear me? Got music? Exactly. Thank you. All right, number 5. What are your factors of 10? 5 and 2. And we have 4 Ks. Remember, I'm going to put a plus. Anytime I see -5, what am I going to put first? -1. And factors of 5 are just 5. We can't do anything with that. And we have 3 Ks. We're going to put a plus. Anytime we see a negative, we're going to put -1 and 2 Ks. All right, what do they all have? Do they all have a 5? Nope. What do they all have? How many Ks? Just 2. Very good. All right, so we're going to pull out 2 Ks or K squared. And then write the leftovers. What's 5 times 2? 10. And we had 2 Ks. Now, you can either put plus -5, or we can write what instead of plus negative? Minus, right? So it doesn't matter. I don't care which one you give me, plus, negative, or you can give me minus. So this would be -5K. And in the last one, you can either do plus -1 or -1. Both answers are exactly the same. There's nothing wrong with them. And EDA will take both. So don't stress out. All right. Look at number 7. It's just got more letters. These numbers are not hard. The letters make it longer. What are your factors of 10? 5 and 2. I have 3 M's and 2 N's and a big fat plus. What are your factors of 9? 3 and 3, and I have 4 M's and a big fat plus. You don't have any factors of 2, so you just write it down. And 3 M's. What do they have in common? Just 3 M's, that's it. So my GCF is M to the third, or M cubed. What did I have left before the plus? 5 and what? What's 5 times 2? 10. What else did I have left? 2 N's, so N squared. There's our plus. What's in between? What's 3 times 3? 9M. And then what's left on the N? A 2. That's it. Great job. 3 more. And again, the last 2 are easy numbers. They're just 4 terms instead of 3 or 2 terms. So that's what you're going to see. All right, so check the first one. What are your factors of 48? So if we go in our calculator and we do 48, they'll pop us a few factors out. Corbin said 6 and 8. That's perfect. Is that very good? We need to break those down. 6 is 2 times 3. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that 8 is 3 2s. So 2 times 3 times 2 times 2 times 2. And then we have 8 ends. We're gonna write a plus. What's the first thing I need to write for that 16? -1. What are your factors of 16? 2 and 8. Remember, 8 is 3 2s. So you have a -1, 2 2, 2 2. 3 ends and 1 M. Big fat plus. Guys, the music has to go. Is it you again? Music? I'm gonna start taking your phones and putting them in the front if I can't get your attention. Does everybody understand that? I don't want you. You can have your music when you're doing your homework, not while I'm teaching. All right, 72. What's the first thing I need to put for it? -1. If you don't know your factors, type it in your calculator, look at your table. There's 6 and 12 and 8 and 9. I would do 8 and 9. We said that 8 was 3 2s. 9 is 3 times 3. We have 2 N's and 1 M. Let me go ahead and put that back up there. What do they all have in common?
No,
Start with the numbers. Start with the numbers.
oh,
Start with the numbers. Definitely 2 2s. Do we have any more than 2 2s? We got it one more time.
yeah.
Yeah, there's another 2, right? So that's 3 2s. Anything else number-wise they have in common? No, that's it. What about ends? How many ends do they have in common? I can circle 1 on each one. Now I can circle 2 on each one, and that's as good as it gets. And then because the first one doesn't have an M, there's no M's in common. So our GCF, multiply it together. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, and an N. What did we leave in the first one? 3 times 2 is 6, and how many N's? 6. We have a plus. You could also write minus, plus, negative, or minus. It doesn't matter. -1 times 2 is -2. I had an N and an M that I didn't circle. And again, I don't care if you put minus or plus negative. Then we have a -1 times 3 times 3 is -9 and an M. And that will be your final answer. Again, if you give me plus -2 in M, that's fine. It doesn't matter what order your letters go in. Typically, it's alphabetical order. So this would be switched maybe, but otherwise it's good. I don't care either way. All right, 2 more. I'm going to go to 10 and then I'll come back to 19. 19 is bigger numbers. 10 is not as hard. Okay. I'm sorry, 10 because 9, I was looking at the 9. 10 has smaller numbers where 9 has larger numbers. All right, so the first one is 9x cubed y. So what are your factors of 9? 3 and 3. We have 3 x's and 1 y. I'm going to that plus. Factors of 27. Again, if you don't know them, just showing you. Put it in your calculator. And you can see it right there, 9 times 3. 9 is 3 and 3 times 3. And 4 x's. What are your factors of 15? 3 and 5. 2 x's and 1 y. What are your factors of 6? And 2 x's. If you will ask yourself and go through the first one, you'll know what your terms are in common. So do I have a 3 in every one? Yes, so I'm going to circle that 3 in every one. Ask yourself about the next one. Do I have another 3? No, so I don't circle that one. Do I have an X in common? Yes. Do I have another X in common? Do I have a third X in common?
No.
Nope, move on. Do I have a Y in each one of them? No, once you get through that first term asking, there's not gonna be any other questions, okay? So if you can get through the first term, you're gonna be fine. So then my GCF is a 3 and 2 X's or 3X squared. Read what you left, 3XY in the first one, 3XY. We're gonna add. What is 3 times 3? 9 and 2 X's. So 9 and X squared. In the next one, you left a 5 and a Y. You don't have to do anything, you just write it down. And in the last one, the only thing I left was 2. Okay. Any questions on number 2? All right, the only difference in number 9 is it's bigger numbers, okay? Negative 16, what do I write down first? Negative 1. What are your factors of 16? 2 and 8. What are your factors of 8? Perfect. We have 4 X's and 3 Y's. What are your factors of 80? 10 and 8. 10 is 5 and 2. 8 is 3 2's. And we had 3 X's. 48, we've already done that, is 6 and 8. 6 is 3 and 2. 8 is 3 2's. 2 X's and a Y. So 3, 2, 2, 2, 2. 2 X's and a Y. And then again, if you're not sure about 56, type it in your calculator. 7 and 8. 7 will not break down. Let me pull it up here. 7 will not break down. 8 is 3 2's. And then we have 2 X's. They definitely both have 2 X's. Do they all have 1 Y?
No.
No, so we can't do that. They don't all have a negative 1. Do they all have a 2? Yeah. Do they all have another 2?
Yeah.
Do they all have another 2?
Yeah.
Do they all have another
No.
2? No, so that's it. What is 3 2's? 2 times 2 times 2. 8. We circled an 8 and 2 X's. Left over, what's negative 1 times 2? Negative 2, good. How many X's, how many Y's?
2 X's and 2 Y's.
So X squared Y cubed. Plus 5 times 2 is 10, and we left 1X. In the next set, we have 3 times 2, which is 6 and a Y. And what's the only thing I have left in the last part? 7. That is your final answer. Any questions? All right. I'm going to stop sharing, stop recording.